Hi there, I hope you're having a great day. Today in this video we're going to be using Blender to create this turret enemy that I plan to use in my scrolling shooter game. In my next video I'll be taking this model into Unity and programming all the code to make it shoot at the player. So if you like game dev content, please subscribe to the channel as it really helps me out. And with that, let's make the model. Click on our cube, go into edit mode, and we're going to put a loop cut down the middle with Ctrl R and a loop cut down the other middle. We're then going to go into wireframe mode and delete 3/4 of our cube. We're then going to add a mirror modifier. We're going to mirror on both the X and the Y axis and make sure that clipping is turned on. We're then going to go back into object mode, press S to scale and Z to constrain to the Z axis, and we're going to make this a bit smaller. Back into edit mode, go to edge select and grab our corner, and we're going to press Ctrl B to bevel it and make some nice faces on the corners. Going to switch to face mode and grab that new face that we've made. Press E to extrude and bring that out. Going to go back into edge select and grab the top edge, G then Z to bring that down. Grab this face at the end here and just scale it down a bit. Going to do another extrusion, bring it in a bit, and then I'm going to bevel it with Ctrl B. Going to grab the main face, press G then Z to bring it up a tad. We're then going to press I to inset, bring that in a little bit, press G then Z, bring it up, E to extrude, bring that up a little, press G and X, bring those two mirrors together, and then G then Y, and bring those two mirrors together. I'm now going to just cut out a little tiny section in the middle bit here and bring it down. To do that, I'm going to press K for the knife tool, click on the line we already have, go along, click, go up a little bit, click. I'm going to go into vertex mode and just straighten these out a little bit. Then I'm going to select the entire line by clicking on the first one and then control clicking on the last one, and press Ctrl B to bevel that. Once that's beveled, I'm going to press E and bring that down. We have some n-gons around here, but I can fix those up later. Okay, we're now going to go back into object mode and we're going to add another cube. This is going to be the bottom half of our turret, so I'm going to make that roughly the same shape as the shape below. I'm going to do some of the same things again with cutting it in half and adding a mirror modifier. And I'm going to shrink it down and repeat some of the process I did before. This time on the corner faces, I'm going to click them and I'm going to press I to inset, bring that in this way, then press S and Z to scale it on the Z axis a bit, maybe make it a little bit bigger, and bring it down a little bit with G then Z. I'm then going to extrude this piece out, scale it down, extrude it out, scale it down, and then move it down a little bit on the Z axis, scale it out, and bring it in again, and down on the Z. With the top faces, I'm going to press I to inset, grab it with G, Shift Z to constrain it to the X and Y axis. I'm going to bring it in so it meets the others in the mirror. Then merge together, I'm then going to press G then Z, bring it up a little bit, E to extrude, bring it up, S to scale, bring it in. For a little bit of detail, I'm going to grab this corner piece, I'm going to press I to inset, and I'm just going to press E and bring it in a little bit. I'm going to create a sphere, but I'm going to make it so the segments are very low because it's not going to be seen. This sphere is going to be our pivot point. This is going to be what controls which way the turret turns. And now we add one more cube. I'm going to scale it down on the X axis and down on the Z axis. I'm going to keep the Y axis nice and long. Maybe scale it up a little bit. Make it a little bit bigger, a little bit longer, a tad wider. On the bottom side, I'm just going to do an inset, bring that in, extrude down, scale that in, extrude down again, and scale that in again. On the front side of the cannon, I'm going to press I to inset, bring that in, and then press E to extrude and push that back. Also going to do the same on the sides, but I'm actually going to extrude that out a little bit, scale it in, and then insert, extrude it backwards in like that. Same thing on the other side, but I'm going to make it a bit smaller this time. So I'm going to extrude out, scale in, press G, then Y and move it backwards a bit, E to extrude, push that in, and I'm going to scale that down just a little bit. And on the top side, we're going to do another inset about that size, press G then Y and we're going to move that backwards a bit, G then Z, bring it up a little bit, another extrusion, bring that up, scale it in, and push it a bit backwards on the Y. I'm going to make that a little bit taller, and one more extrusion, scale this one right down, and press G then Y and push it right to the back. think that might be a little bit too tall. And go into wireframe mode, switch to vertice mode, just grab all these, G then Z, bring it down a bit. This face on the front here, I'm going to inset that a little bit. I'm going to press G and then Shift X to constrain it to the Z and the Y axis and push it down and back a little bit. And then I'm going to scale it in. And then I'm going to press E to extrude, bring that up a bit, scale it in. E to extrude again, bring it up, scale it in. These sides are looking a bit plain, so I'm just going to quickly add some geometry to that. Again, by insetting, bringing it back, and extruding it out. Now on the other side, I'm going to make a smaller version of it. Insetting, scaling it right down, moving it to the back, and bringing it back up, and extruding it out. Now for the cannon part of the turret. We're going to do Shift A, add a mesh, and we're going to make a cylinder. I'm going to bring the vertices of the cylinder right down to about 8. I'm going to rotate it on the x-axis 90 degrees, shrink it down, and get that roughly in position. I'm going to scale it up a little bit. I'm then going to add a mirror modifier to this, and I'm going to mirror the object of the body of the turret. Push them back. We're going to go into edit mode, grab the front face, we're going to press E to extrude, bring it out, E to extrude again, but then we're going to press S straight away without doing anything else. Bring that up. They're too close together at the moment. That's okay, we'll fix it in a second. Then going to extrude again, bring them out to about there, and then I'm going to do an extrude, bring it out, scale it a little bit, and then I'm going to do another extrusion and just push them in like that. I'm going to pull these two apart a little bit, click on the cylinder, I'm going to duplicate that, press Y and drag it out, make it a bit smaller, and then put them around here. Just so I can make a nice animation where it like pew, pew, when it's shooting. It's looking very bare down here on the base, so I'm just going to quickly change that. I'm going to create a tiny cube, bring it over here. This doesn't need to be highly detailed because it's going to be very small and you'll hardly be able to see it. So I'm just going to bring this in on the Y, rotate it a little bit, shrink it down. That's too small. Slot this in put this right in the middle about there. I'm then going to add a mirror modifier to this. Jump into edit mode, grab the whole thing, and if I move it out, we want to mirror on the Y axis, and if I move it out, we have two of them. I'm going to add another mirror modifier, and this time we're going to mirror the object of the base. If we do that on both the X and Y axis, it should be on all four corners. Now I'm going to grab this, bring it up a little bit, and turn it a bit. I'm going to grab the end face, I'm going to press G and bring it down. And then I'm going to bring it in. And I'm going to go and add a mesh cylinder at 8 vertices, shrink it right down, rotate it 90 degrees on the Y axis, give it a bit of rotation on the Z and position it, make it a bit smaller, press scale and Z twice and scale it this way. And I'm going to add a mirror modifier to that, same as the other one, mirroring our base mesh on the X and Y. And I'm just going to duplicate that down, getting a bit smaller as we go. When we get to this corner, we're going to extrude, and bring this up, GZ, and scale it right down and bring them in. I'm going to go to the underside and just fix these so they're not sticking out the bottom. I'm just going to take a moment to name everything in the Explorer. Really should have done that back when I was creating the meshes, but oh well. We're now going to do the parenting so that they all move correctly together. To parent a mesh, you want to click on one, click on the mesh you want to parent it to, right click, go to parent, object, and then it should all move together. But if I move the child, it should move individually. We want to parent the gun to the body. We want to move the cannon down a bit. If you can't see the object you're trying to do parenting to, you can click it and then control click in the Explorer up here. And I want to parent that the same way, parent object. So if I click on the pivot and move it. And then the turret base is the pivot's parent. Now I'm going to add some color to this. I'm going to click on the base. I'm going to make a nice purple. Then click on these little bars I made down here, grab the same material, but then I'm going to press this button here to make a copy of it, and I'm going to make that a little bit brighter. I'm going to go into edit mode and grab all these faces in this hole here, and I'm going to create a new material, assign that to them. I'm going to make that a red, and a grey for these little bars down here. Oh, I almost forgot I was going to add a little thing here. So just add a quick cube, shrink that down, make it a diamond shape, and just slot that in like that. Bevel the top of it, and just inset and bring that out a little bit. Scaled that down, just extrude this top one, and bring it in. And then mirror that same as the detailing from before. I want these to be little lights. Okay, back to our shading. Grab the new meshes we've made, and I'm going to make them the lighter purple, except for the end face, which I'm going to change to be a red. The base of the cannon, I'm going to make that the purple. The hole here we made, I'm going to put light purple in there. Cannon itself, we'll make that purple. This little boxy thing I've got sticking out, I'm going to make that grey. Same on the other side. I'm going to also make the top of this red, and I'll make the cannons grey, and I'll make this one a lighter grey. Copy the old one, new material, and make it a little bit lighter. Could do with a little bit of the light purple on the actual cannon itself, but this will do for now. I just want to create a little shooting animation for this, where these end cannons here just go like and fire something out. To do that, we make sure that our timeline at the bottom here is set to 1. Click on the object, press I to insert a keyframe. We're only going to insert the location data. Move it a couple of frames across, change its position, and add another keyframe. You can keyframe it to available. What I want is for the cannon to go back and then forward. Kind of like a bounce. So it would go down, pause for a moment, and then come out. And then I'm going to return it back to its original position by copying that keyframe and pasting it over here. See how that looks. Yeah, I mean, if I speed that up, it could work. Here is our lovely cannon. Although I won't make you sit here while I fine-tune all the details of this, because it will take me quite a while to get it looking how I want it to. Well, that's the end of this video. If you like this video, then please leave a like and consider subscribing so you can see my next video, where we take this turret into Unity and make it shoot at the player when they get close enough. And that's it. Thank you for watching. If you watch up to this part, then comment your favourite game, I guess. Engagement is engagement. Have a nice day.